Welcome back to The Thermostat with Jason Barger. If you're currently on a commute, a walk, or just a micro break in your day, glad you're making time to step back, to think, and to reflect on the next steps on your journey. I've never been more convinced. The best leaders and team cultures in the world are the ones that make time to step back and calibrate their thermostat. I hope today's conversation leaves you feeling grounded and inspired. Now let's dive into today's topic to engage our minds and hearts in order to authentically lead and create compelling cultures wherever we are in the world. Hello. Welcome to Season 2. I'm so excited. Season 1 was a huge hit and so much great feedback and mojo came out from Season 1. Thank you to all of you out there who have sent messages in, who have rated, reviewed, subscribed, given us the feedback that you've loved Season 1 of the podcast. Thank you for coming back if you're one of those listeners and joining us for Season 2. If you are a first-time listener or beginning this journey, I invite you to go back and check out Season 1. There's some great stuff in there, wonderful interviews, great micro pods that I hope you add into your listening repertoire. But we're excited to kick off Season 2 together. To kick this off, and as always, it's my hope that these podcasts give you something to think about each week, these are here to engage your mind and heart, and also to lead to intentional action. That's the point of these. And so Season 2 is going to be filled with the same kinds of stuff, and we're really excited about what's to come. So thank you for joining. We hope that you will keep listening. We hope you will share these messages with the people in your life and work that ought to be a part of these kind of conversations, or this will resonate with them. I hope that you will comment, leave your thoughts, give us feedback. Many of you have sent in emails, and we hope you'll continue to do that in Season 2. You can email us directly at info@jasonvbarger.com. Send us your comments about how you're enjoying, what you like or don't like about the podcast, and we're always trying to make these better. As always, thank you for those of you that have rated the podcast. That's always helpful, to rate, to review, to subscribe, all of those things, because really what that does is help us amplify these messages, amplify these positive, supportive messages further in the world. And so we thank you for helping us do that. But here we are. We're excited to kick off Season 2 and begin a new year. And at this time of year, every time the calendar turns and we launch into January to kick off a new year, the same kind of things often happens, that all of us set these New Year's resolutions or goals that we have for the year ahead. Even if you're somebody who's not a New Year's resolution person, oftentimes we set goals for ourselves for the new year. Because the new year represents to all of us, it's a turning over of a new leaf. It's starting fresh. The slate is wiped clean, or so we think. And, there's a new canvas, a metaphorical canvas in front of all of us that's waiting to be painted. And so whatever that canvas looks like for you personally in your life or professionally, the new year represents this new beginning, to begin to paint it in a new way, or to think about who you want to be and what you're going to be about in the coming year. But commonly, all of us, we race into January each year and we set these new resolutions or these goals, but often they are focused on the things that we're going to do. They're really focused on the things that we're going to do. And so they include things like we're going to work out more, or we're going to drink less. We're going to quit eating junk food. We're going to travel more. We're going to make more sales, or some professional goal that you may have for yourself in your work, etc., etc. The list of the goals, are the goals that we have for ourselves. And oftentimes they're the things that we say we're going to do in the new year ahead. Yet it's funny because the analytics on these goals aren't very promising. The goals and the analytics behind New Year's resolutions and goal setting at the beginning of a new year, they really aren't that very, very promising. Those neighborhood gyms that you go to and the workout classes that are packed on January 5th, bustling with people that have set these new goals and these new resolutions and are fired up for the new year, those classes and places that are packed on January 5th are often quite barren by February 5th. The research says that 70 to 80% of New Year's resolutions have been quit within 3 to 4 weeks. 70 to 80% of these New Year's resolutions, of these goals, that people quit them within the first 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. And what it's showing is that we're fired up and have the best of intentions, but why don't they last? Why don't those goals, those resolutions we set for the whole year, why do they only last about 3 to 4 weeks? Why can't they make it past at least that pathetic 3 or 4 week mark? Why can't we at least get to, March or April at least? Well, my theory is that it has to do with our focus. The focus of where we put our focus for these New Year's resolutions and these goals, the focus of where these are born out of. Oftentimes the focus is so much on what we're going to do, and yet I believe the focus needs to be elsewhere. The subtle but hugely important mindset shift is shifting our mind from the things that we're going to do to the people that we want to be. That mindset shift from doing to being. The ones that fail most easily, in my opinion and my observation, those goals, those resolutions that fail most easily are the ones that are rooted in doing. They're the things that all the things that we say we're going to do. We're going to work out more, we're going to eat less, we're going to sell more, etc., etc. The focus is on a task. And when it is as shallow as a task, the reality is we lose interest. We lose interest in it more quickly because it's just a task to us. It becomes another something we have to do, lingering over us. It's something we think we ought to do rather than something that we are compelled to be. The most successful humans, in my opinion, leaders, spouses, entrepreneurs, parents, teams, friends, organizations are the ones that are rooted in their being. They are rooted in their being. Who they are compelled to be drives what they do, not the other way around. The doing doesn't drive the being drives the doing. It may seem like a subtle and somewhat meaningless distinction to you, but the focus is the secret sauce. It is the nuanced focus of this that matters. For example, when someone has a deeper rooted conviction of being healthier in the new year, not the things they're going to do, but their conviction and their goal and their New Year's resolution is about being healthier, then the doing is secondary. The doing becomes the action plan for a goal that's much more compelling and more deeply rooted. From the be, they decide to then put together an action plan of the things they're going to do. And so from that being, then they decide on a workout schedule. But it's not just a workout schedule. It's not just a task. It's rooted to a goal that's much deeper of who they want to be. And so the workout is just one of the tasks that's going to be connected to this deeper rooted goal. And so they decide to work a workout schedule. They decide a diet. They decide a healthier mindset and how they're going to do morning meditation or the way that they're going to focus their thoughts. They're going to think about the pace that they move throughout their day and how they plan and schedule their time and their energy. Those are the secondary things, the action planning of what they're going to do in order to support the more deeply rooted goal of who they want to be in the new year. Their being drives their doing, and therefore their goal is much deeper, is more purposeful, more compelling, and intentional. For me, I'll just share with you and be, genuine and authentic and vulnerable with you that for me, I'll share a little bit of who I'm hoping to be in this new year. This isn't everything that I want to be, but a few of the things that I'm holding out in front of myself of who I want to be. Not all the things I'm going to do. That's going to be secondary, because then I'll put together an action plan of what this is going to look like to try to be these things. But for me, who do I want to be in this new year? Well, I want to feel strong. And I don't just mean that from a workout sense. I want to make sure who I want to be is I want to be a strong person. And so I know that means my mind, my body, my spirit are strong. And so I will dive into the process then of thinking about what that's going to look like for me, from my morning routine and how I train my mindset, the way I want to think, to how I want to work my body, to the way that I want to feel strong in the world. I want to feel strong. I know that who I want to be in this next year is I want to give. And I don't want to give just to give. I want to give out of gratitude. And when I say give, I don't just mean monetarily, although my wife and I and our family, we do that. To the places and the projects and the things that are passionate, that we have passion for and that we're passionate about in the world, we certainly do that. And with our kids, we have a great routine of being able to bring them into that conversation about what do we as a family want to support and how do we want to make sure that we are doing that. But I want to make sure that who I am in this year, who I'm trying to be, is to be a giver. I want to give to the people around me. I want to make myself available as much as I can to sit with those that I can be with and mentor and care for. I want to make sure that I'm able to give my fullest attention to the clients that I'm working with and the teams and organizations and companies that I'm serving. I want to give out of gratitude to them and support what they're trying to do. I know who I want to be and who I want our family to be in this new year is I want to experience newness with our family. My wife and I are talking about how can we continue to provide our kids with experiences that expand the way they think, the way they see the world, the way that they experience the world every single day. And so we need to help them. Who we want to be is we want to experience newness together. And lastly, one of the things that I'll identify, at least with our time today, is that I want to have, who I want to be in this next year is I want to have the courage to grow, which means I want to challenge myself to level up the quality of everything that I'm doing. I am so blessed and lucky and grateful that the messages that I'm sharing, the types of things I'm writing in my books, and then the opportunities that I'm getting to speak, to give keynote speeches all across the country and around the world, the companies and organizations that I'm lucky to get to collaborate with and partner with and consult with to help them raise the level on their own leadership of their people and the culture they're trying to create and the clarity around mission, vision, values. I'm so grateful for all the work that's happening in the world, but I want to continue to make sure I'm always getting better. And so I want to level up and make sure that I'm diving into and learning more about the art and the craft of storytelling. I want to raise the level on the keynote experience that I can provide for people, and the books and the blogs and the things that I write and the things that I share. And in my collaborations with companies and teams and organizations, I want to continue to have the courage to grow and to develop. And so my invitation for you is the same as it is for me, that as you enter a new year, I hope that you won't just set New Year's resolutions and goals that are only focused on the things you're going to do. I'd invite you to step back and to first think about who is it that you want to be, and then let your being drive your doing and not the other way around. So I want to leave you, as always, with some questions to ponder. Some questions for your journey, for you to consider this week as these ideas are rattling around in your mind and your heart. And as you begin to kick off this new year, some questions for you to ponder. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be in this new year? Then once you're clear on who you want to be, what will you do as a strategy to bring that being to life? What will you do? What will that action plan be to bring that to life, the person or the team that you're hoping to be? I invite you to set mile markers, meaning time, beyond 21 days, beyond that 3 or 4 week mark, to create habits. Set yourself some goals that you're going to stick with this for longer than 3 or 4 weeks, and allow yourself time to check in and look at how are you doing with that person you want to be, not just the things that you're hoping to do. And remember, keep the be before the do. Let your being drive your doing, because the being is more compelling and brings more purpose to our actions. Thank you for listening to today's podcast, and I hope the messages and questions stimulate positive change along your path. As always, if these messages resonate with you and add value to your life, I hope you'll help amplify them throughout the world. Please rate, comment, and share on whatever podcast or social media platform you're using. And share this podcast with the people in your life or work who should be part of these conversations. That way, this spirit does, in fact, spread. If these messages or developing leaders and culture would be helpful to your organization, or you have a question or comment about this podcast, please contact us at jasonvbarger.com. And remember, we all are ambassadors for the culture we want to create in our life and work. We have to own the vision we want to be a part of. The future of leadership is you, is me, is us. Be a thermostat.